Welcome. Welcome to the session that is about architecting and system operations on AWS, Amazon Web Services. Well, and for today's discussion, this is the agenda that is know about your trainer, a little bit about myself, what am I, my qualification, my experience, so that you know, right? Are you in a right session? Are you talking to the right trainer or instructor? And you can actually understand what kind of examples am I giving. Are they relevant to the industry? Are they relevant to your expectations or from your past experiences? And then we'll talk about a story to the cloud computing. Well, it's enough of reading the definitions of a cloud computing. I know how to Google to know the definition of a cloud computing, but let me tell you the realistic example on how the IT was started, and then today, okay, uh, how the concept of IT is actually drive to the cloud computing, right? From on-premises, from managed data centers, all the way to the public cloud computing. So we'll tell you a scenario about the cloud computing. Well, one liner about the cloud definition, that is cloud computing. As we spend good amount of time in understanding the cloud in general, well, introduction to AWS will not take much of a time for me because AWS is also one of the public cloud offering. So it is like this. In today's generation, it is not like you have to know everything about a product, but know the basics, fundamentals, and adjust yourself to the appropriate technology, right? So if you know the cloud computing fundamentals very strong, then it is easy for you to adapt to AWS, easy for you to adapt to Azure, to VMware Cloud, OpenStack. That's the discussion going to be, uh, you know, during the story to the cloud computing or cloud computing and introduction to AWS. Then we'll explain you different certifications that Amazon has to offer you and what certification are we going to cover in our training program. Okay, and then we'll talk about course highlights. That You may ask me a question, Venkat, why should I engage you over the others? Right, that's where I'll tell you the course out highlights, and of course the course outline too. And finally, I leave the stage to you, that is for the questions and answers. The session may take approximately 60 minutes of time. Well, I would request you to be patient, and yeah, I understand you must be from different technical backgrounds. Some of the topics uh, may look very basic to you, but I still request you to pay attention towards the content, not to cross question in between, in the interest of everybody's time. And then towards the end of the session, yes, I give enough time to answer all your questions. And it's not time bounded, but you can ask me n number of questions. Hope the agenda is very interesting. Let's get started. Firstly, about myself. I have 11 years of IT experience, from a help desk or a IT engineer all the way to cloud architect. Okay, over the 11 years of experience that I did work as a help desk engineer or a monitoring guy, all the way to the cloud architect. Right? I know 11 years is not a great experience in numbers, greatest in numbers, but yes, if you look at the job profiles that I've done, like I've come across all those paths as an enterprise class hardware solution architect, maybe operating system level expert, virtualization SME, cloud architect. So if you see my certifications, this is an opportunity for me to tell you about myself. And if you know me and my skill set, that's when you believe whatever I say in the subsequent slides today. And of course, if at all you join me in the journey of learning the cloud computing, then you know what am I, right? As I am from processors, as I am from networking, storage, server hardware, OS, virtualization, network virtualization, cloud computing, it's my promise that you get best content, you get best topics delivered, best examples delivered from all those areas, right? So that said, let's quickly get into a story to the cloud computing and how the IT was, and then how did we drive, or the industry drive, the IT to the cloud computing today. Okay, So I'm keeping things very basic. Try to focus, and if you have any questions, please note down and ask me towards the end of the class. Firstly, one thing we know is the application, right? No matter, I mean, today we talk about n number of things: big data, analytics, data science, digital marketing, cloud computing, virtualization, machine learning, artificial intelligence, right? Keep all those fancy keywords aside. Try to understand, try to start our learning from things that we know. Okay, application. So the application is a program that is designed to perform a specific function directly or indirectly for the users. Okay, so what is this, Venkat? Well, application, it is very simple thing that, for example, the word processors, the MS Office suite, right? We make use of it every day to prepare our resumes, to prepare documentation, to prepare SOAPs, or to prepare project documentation, whatnot, right? For every single purpose, right? Most of the times we use MS Office suite for presentations, maybe uh, for presentations, and for your Excel data sheets, all that stuff, which is nothing but an application. Okay, the databases. Well, you find MS Office suite is not compatible or is not working for you to store large amount of data sets. Like I have a few GBs of data, a few terabytes of data, right? And I wanted to run analytics on it. Well, we have databases like relational databases, NoSQL databases, and you've got uh, analytics based, transaction based. So the databases it is an application that is helping you out. The browsers, right? So we need browsers to browse the internet, and like you have Google Chrome, IE, Firefox. There are n number of browsers out there, and a purpose of all these applications, right, is that we consume for different purposes. Browser is to browse the internet, database is to store the large sets of data, and then word processors are just to prepare office level documents. And then I've got development tools, maybe like Visual Studio, Eclipse, uh, and then you've got Webmatrix. There are a number of tools that developers use to develop the applications: drawing and painting, image and video editing softwares, communication like email, chatting, right? So there are n number of applications out there, and I believe, strongly believe, that uh, we must be using most of these applications on a daily basis, right? And we all are very good in consuming the applications. We don't take such a long time to become very familiar with Facebook web application, to use LinkedIn web application, to use Twitter, any of those applications that are available today. So we consume them. Okay, so consuming the application is one side of the coin. We knew it. We knew how to consume an application. But do you know the other side of a coin, right? By the way, those who don't know the coin that I'm displaying in the slide, this is uh, Indian rupee. It's 1 rupee in Indian currency. It's similar to one USD. Okay, so the other side of a coin is, uh, what do you need to host an application, to install an application, where to host an application, or where to install an application, how and who will manage it once you install an application, uh, in a place. How how you manage it, or who will manage it? And there are a number of questions around that. I never paid attention, like how, sorry, where Google did install Gmail or YouTube. At least what is needed to install them? Like where did they install? Is that Dell server, IBM, or what kind of infrastructure do they have, right? And who is managing them? I never paid attention towards it, nor you, right? I never tried to understand how LinkedIn was developed. I'm just using it. Never paid attention towards Facebook, how the Facebook data centers, or how the failover is maintained, right? In our data center, of course, if you guys are working in development or in server admin profile, we know how many outages happen in a month, right? End of the month, when we actually prepare the customer presentations on the business review, the services review, and then you see, I mean, of course, that is called a service review meeting. Okay, so when you prepare such a presentations, then you have to talk about series of outages that have happened and for what reason, and the RCA that you have provided for them. Okay, and the mitigation plans, etc., etc. Right. So if in spite of you designing your application to be highly available, to be fault tolerant, you still have some of, I mean, few outages hitting the application, right? But you see the Facebook, you see the Google, which are all the free services are available 365 days. Right? It's very rare that we see any outage. What do you think that they are doing in the backend? Ensure that the application is up and running. Did we ever paid attention towards it? No, right? So consuming the application will not get us any employment. We must know, uh, we must know the other side of the coin, that you see few of the questions in that area, right? So for the rest of the presentation here, let's try to concentrate in that and we get our answer. We will be driving through the cloud computing and of course the AWS concepts for the rest of the slides, right? Yeah, let's move. So as you understand, applications that you consume need some engineering, some hosting space. So what do you think, right, do we need to install an application or to run an application? It's simple, the infrastructure. So what does this infrastructure include? Well, it includes server hardware. Yes, we all agree that we need a server hardware because, well, without a server is nothing but a machine like your personal computer or a laptop, but that is designed with the different considerations because we have to keep the machine on 365 days, and there will be heavy computing process, heavy utilization of memory, network, and other resources. So it generates a lot of heat. So we just make sure that the server is designed with a different considerations, with heavy configuration on it. So it's the server hardware that we need at first. Okay, and then you need networking. Well, a server without a network connectivity, then we cannot consume any application that is hosted on it. So we need the networking connectivity. So that's where we need networking. You need storage because you see today the data of every single application is growing like anything. And in short, I can say the data is business today. No data, no business. So the storage is needed to store the application data. And then you need an operating system. It can be Windows or Linux because we humans cannot talk to the hardware directly, right? I cannot ask a CPU, hey, please execute this application installation. Uh, uh, Neither CPU understand my language nor I understand the machine language. That's where we need a proxy who understands our language and who also understands the machine language and get the instructions executed and get the result back to us. Windows, Linux does the same job, but it's the user interface that is different. It's the way that we interact with the operating system that is a different. Otherwise, the concepts are the same. Can anybody say Windows will not operate the CPU but the Linux? No. Both operating systems does the same, that they have to manage the resource of a hardware and the applications installed on it, ensuring the security, proper administration is given to the user or to the administrator. So you need an operating system. And then of late we see virtualization has become one of the mandatory component in every data center, right? We need virtualization to get the benefits. Of course, this is for the industries, this is for the business. So if you go for a full physical data center, then you may have to spend a lot of money for capital expense, operating expense as well. That is initially to set up the data center and later to buy the licenses or uh, to hire the server admins and to look for the power, look for the power, air filtering, your real estate space, whatnot, right? So in all those areas, you have to spend a lot of money if you go physical. That's where virtualization is giving you a lot of benefits, not just in terms of capex and opex, but in terms of the administration a better ROI, return on investment, better RPO, better RTO, better backup and restoration solutions, better disaster recovery solutions, better fault tolerance. So virtualization is, it has become one of the mandatory component in every data center today, right? And then the cloud. Well, today you see the public cloud offerings like AWS, Azure, VMware, OpenStack, Oracle Cloud. There are many. Recently, I come across a cloud called Dell Boom, right? Dell Boom, and we see the Google Cloud is coming into the market. We see a lot of other stuff. Okay, so if you don't like going on premises physical data center, you better go for the cloud platform as well. But to host an application, we need the infrastructure, and the infrastructure include these things at base, are very basic. These are kind of very minimum components that one need to host an application. Now, where do I keep this equipment, the server, the networking, the storage, OS that we talk about, all these components? Well, let's say you are a developer or you are a server admin, you are keeping the machine, the server, next to you on your desk. Okay, and that is hosting one of the very critical application of your business, maybe uh, the billing application that generates a lot of revenue for your company. One of your friend walked to you, he find the device very interesting, and he kind of uh, unplug a cable or power off the device unknowingly, and then that caused outage that hit the direct revenue of your company, right? So incident has happened because the device is easily accessible to everybody. That is the reason all infrastructure components are placed in a data center. Well, what is a data center? A data center is a secure place. I mean, is a kind of room with proper standards maintained in terms of air filtering, in terms of cooling, in terms of space, uh, security, that is to access the servers physically, those physical security, and couple of other things, right? So you keep all the equipment into a room, you have all those security and the filtering that I'm talking about in place, and we call that as a data center, right? So we arrive to a point, and we've, at least I say, very basic knowledge about data center by now. Don't wonder we are attending AWS cloud demo, and you're taking us something that is irrelevant to us. Well, yeah, I understand. Like I said initially, right? Just wait a few more minutes and you'll get to that point. Okay, now where this data center can be, okay, it can be on premises. Okay, let's say you have some X building, and you have your office in that X building. Maybe in the ground floor you can have a room dedicated, you have all the server equipment and the other data center equipment placed, and you call that as a data center, which is called on premises. You have the data center on premises where you have the office. That's the traditional way, right? That's fine. The second possibility is on premises managed data centers. Okay, in on-premises model, the very first one, only the big labels like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, or the companies who can afford lots of money can only build their data centers, because they have to buy all the equipment that we talk about. They have to hire the verticals like server admin, network admin, storage admin, database admin, developers, testing team, QA team, managers for the respective teams, and then a VP, CIO, CTO. All verticals of IT departments have to be hired, and it is 24 bar 7 to ensure the operations run smoothly through the day, through the year. Lot of investment, isn't it? Yes, it is. And then on-premises managed data centers come into the picture. Uh, let's say there are companies, right, whose core business is not into IT. Let's say I am a hotel management company. Okay, I am a hotel company, and my core business is not IT. Right, I have globally hotels in uh, almost all countries. In every major city, I have the hotel. So to run my hotel business globally, I am in need of an IT. Okay, I am in need of IT. So that is to have a website for marketing, to have a website to allow customers to book the rooms and the other services that I offer, and to maintain the catalog, to look at the stock for different items, and to run the payroll of the employees, and to have the communicator, that is a chat solutions, to have the mailing solution. So different other purposes for a hotel business to have IT. Now, let's say the hotel company, maybe they've they've kind of purchased some 200 servers. They've purchased 200 servers. Now, the hotel company do not have expertise in setting up the data center with those 200 servers. Then what to do? They do not have skill in hiring the teams to what to do. That's when they call for the bidding. The big labels like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, HP, IBM, CSC, all these labels, whoever is into the services will bid for the project, saying, hey, I have a team of 200 people, I have a team of 100 people, my team is so experienced in such business, we have experience in designing, implementing the data centers, we are experienced in optimizing the cost of a data center, XYZ stuff. They just bid for the project. And hotel management company get into a contract, maybe it can be a 5-year contract, uh, or 10-year contract, it depends. But they get into a contract with one of the services company, let's say maybe TCS or maybe IBM or one of those companies. Now TCS will come to the hotel company, to the data center. They will install, they set up the data center with 200 servers, the networking, storage, whatever they have, and they will install the applications that they need, like mailing solution, databases, web applications, etc., etc. And they will support it either on premises sitting at the hotel company data center, or from the TCS data centers, TCS premises, but they will be remotely supporting the data center. Okay, that's on premises managed data center. That is still the costly affair. The third possibility where you can have the data center is in the cloud. In the cloud. That's where the big question is. What is this? What is the cloud? Okay, well, big companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and there are many other companies who say, hey, we set up this company for you. We set up this data center for you with servers, networking, storage, database, big data, platform as a service for the developers, software as a service for the users. So whatever you need, we have them deployed in our data center. And you, as a customer, uh, you just connect to us using the public internet connectivity and use our services. Getting me? Getting me? An average server, a server with mid configuration will cost you, close to 25 to 30 lakhs. Okay, uh, average server. And if a hotel company have to buy 200 servers, what do you think will be the capital expense just to buy the number of servers? And how about the network equipment? How about the power units, cooling units, air filters, the cables, and the storage devices, networking devices like switches, routers, firewalls, load balancers, etc., etc.? How much do you think will be the investment just to buy the physical equipment, and then you buy the software, the licenses, operating system, the licenses, support, and then you have to hire the teams? It's going to be a lot of capital expense, which everybody cannot afford. Maybe the big companies, uh, whose investment is millions and millions of dollars, can afford. That is the reason until recent past there is no concept of startup companies. But nowadays, like too many companies, too many startups, is because we have the cloud computing. We have the cloud computing. They say, hey, why do you worry about setting up the entire data center? Let's say you are a startup company, you have a great idea, right? But you're not sure if your idea will fly or not. You're not sure if you will be succeeded in your business or not. If that is a situation, right, why do you invest such a huge amount in setting up your infrastructure, setting up your IT? And in case if you fail in your business, then what about the IT that you set up? It's a huge loss. Of course, hardware you can sell it back maybe by 40% or 50% off, but then how about the licenses that you took? All right, that is the reason the big companies like Google, Amazon, it's called Google Cloud, Amazon it is called AWS Web Services, Microsoft it is called Azure. They say we build the data center, we have the servers, networking, storage, database, the platform as a service offerings like for the developers, and the software as a service for the users. Whatever you need, we have it for you. You just connect to us through a public internet connectivity and you engage a service that you actually need. If you just need one server, take the server, use it. You just need maybe some 50 terabytes of storage, take the storage and use it. You just need a database, but you have application server running on premises, you just take it. You need big data, Hadoop compliant clusters. Well, I don't know how many of you are from the back database or big data background, but uh, it will cost you a lot to set up Apache Hadoop clusters on premises. Even to test the things out, you come to AWS cloud. There is something called EMR, Elastic MapReduce, which is a Hadoop compliant big data clusters, which can be set up on demand, can be used for the number of hours that you are really wanted to. Just give the uh, big data servers back, and you pay for only for the time that you use. And on the same lines, you have got Redshift, which is AWS solution for big data, right? And you've got platform as a service. Let's say you are a developer and you do not want to engage the server as such, but you just need a runtime environment. You have that, right? So you need, I mean, let it, whatever may be your requirement, you just can come to these providers and you can engage the service. And there are 5 essential qualities of a cloud computing, like on demand. Okay, meaning uh, you come and engage the services whenever you need it. Right? You really do not have to wait for any approvals as such, but it is on demand. You need it midnight, you need it early in the morning, you need it on Sunday, on public holiday. There is no time limit as such. There is no time window as such. You just come and engage the cloud services anytime. That's on demand. Self-service, well, it is not the traditional way of engaging the IT, that you will be submitting a ticket to the IT teams and they have an SLA, right? Maybe 4 days or 7 days, whatever it is, just to get a server. You have to wait for 1 week of time. If you were a developer, imagine what would you do in a weeks of time. You can develop the entire application, isn't it? Yes, it is. So it is self-service. So you can log into the portal and you can deploy the servers, networking, whatever the resource that you need on your own. It is pay as you go. Uh, one of the great feature from the cloud, that is, if you engage, if you need a server, right, use it. If you use it for 4 hours, pay only for 4 hours, not for the entire month or a year. And you do not have to give any kind of commitment that I'll be using it for the X amount of uh, period. No such uh, commitment. And you need storage 100 GB, yes, use it. You do not have to commit them. I'll be using 1 TB or 10 TB. Just use any amount of storage only for the time that you need, and only pay uh, for a resource for the amount of time that you use. It's pay as you go. And you've got rapid elasticity. Then they will not tell you, if today you are running out of one server, your application, and tomorrow if you need maybe 200 servers, within a day you should be able to scale from one server to 200, and they cannot tell you, we do not have enough hardware resources to to support your deployment. None of these cloud providers will do that. Okay, so the data centers are rapidly elastic and measured services. Of course, you may be thinking like, Venkat, how do they bill me when I use it for 4 hours? Right? How do they get to know? How do they bill me when I use 100 GB of storage only for a week? Okay, so it's like they will measure your usage. Okay, so when you join me the actual cloud computing classes, uh, And then we'll go through this journey into a very much evaluator or into a deep dive discussion on all these 5 qualities or characteristics of the cloud computing. But to tell you, the cloud computing, it is delivering IT services over the internet to the customers. Okay, so the IT services is like, it's a generic word. Information technology have everything in it. The servers, whatever you see, the items that are in the console, and there are many other that are not added. All of them are part of information technology. So the entire information technology can be delivered as a service to the customers over the internet. That is called the cloud computing. Now, let me introduce you the AWS, what it is. Okay, I know you guys are waiting for it. Yeah. So AWS provides on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet on a secure cloud service platform. They offer you the compute, storage, database, content delivery, mobile application development, big data, analytics, data science, uh, DevOps, whatnot. Anything that you have in IT today, they can deliver all of those services to the customers. So that's where I said AWS provides on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet. And it is the same definition that we read in the cloud computing, isn't it? That's where I said you need to know the fundamentals of cloud computing so that you can adjust very quickly to AWS, to Azure, or to any other cloud that we have. And then today, Amazon Web Services provide a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that powers hundreds of thousands of businesses in 190 countries in the world. Highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure that is in 190 countries. Well, I would request you to see this as an opportunity. Okay, if there is a product that is being used in 190 countries and you are learning it, see the kind of opportunities that you may have in the industry. Okay, don't think about the competition, but think about the opportunities, because it's like this. Windows operating system is there for a while, right, for decades. But you still have job opportunities in that area. It's not because uh, you still have job opportunities because the wide adaptation. It's not because there are very few administrators. There are many. One of the common skill set that you see in the industry is Windows administrator. You still have job opportunities because the wide adaptation. The same way, in spite of Google, Azure, and the other cloud vendors hitting the market, AWS have got strong roots into it because the AWS product development was started in the year of 2002. It's been what, 15 years that they have been into this business, and they've got very strong portfolio, the product roadmap, strategy, and the customer connects, right? And they understand the customer needs uh, very detailed, so that they are designing their product such a way that it meets every single need of a customer. Since the inception, that is, since the beginning of AWS, they have released 1111 new features, 78 major services, and 48 price reductions. Venkat, I don't believe this. They have highly reliable, scalable infrastructure. Okay, I understand. And they have released 1111 new features and 78 major services. So I understand what kind of efforts that they are putting to bring new features and services into industry. That is also fine. But why did they reduce the prices 48 times over a period of 10 years? If the platform is so reliable and scalable, and the adaptation is very wide, as you see, 190 countries are being people, businesses from 190 countries are using it, why should they reduce the prices? Well, the reason is they have 1 million active customers across 190 countries. The 1 million active customers are from different business backgrounds. They have customers from government agencies. Would you believe the government companies or the government agencies are going onto the cloud, especially the US federal government? Hmm, something that we need to consider. Educational institutions, healthcare organizations, the startup companies, the banking sector, the financial companies, the big multinational companies. So Their target is to to bring AWS services uh, to everybody's use. Right? It is not AWS is not just for uh, the big multinational companies. AWS is not for the customers who don't need security, or AWS is not for the customer who just need the security. So it is for everybody. That's one of the reason that they are making the web services affordable to everybody. Okay, and if you look at their global infrastructure, they have 16 regions, 44 availability zones. Of course, there are two new availability zones recently got added, so I need to uh, correct my slide number. And then 54 edge locations. Venkat, what are these? I don't understand. Well, we guys know, if I have a server, if that fails, what happens? What happens? And then my application will not function. You're right. To overcome that challenge, we will have two servers and we will have the clustering or the load balancing built, so that if one fails, the other is available. Fine. You have a data center in Mumbai that is working fine. Let's say earthquake or storm, cyclone, something, a natural disaster hit the data center when the entire Mumbai city, resulting which the power outage or one of the other caused the entire data center to go down. There are some hundreds of applications hosted in there, and the applications are being used globally. What would you do then? Well, I'll go for a disaster recovery. I'll build one more site in Chennai. Okay, okay. You build another data center in Chennai for the same servers, and you keep replicate your primary server from Mumbai to Chennai. And a bigger storm hit the entire India, right? That destroyed or that caused outage at Chennai and Mumbai as well. What would you do? I build another data center. Well, IT is a small component in any business. You cannot spend all your income, on IT as a business unit, as a cost center. Okay, so to keep the IT uh, investments minimal, you should always look for a cost-effective IT solution. That's where Amazon says, "Hey, we have data centers in 16 different countries." It is not actually 16 different countries, but at this point of time, to bring the topic to very detailed, to which is very easy to everybody to understand. So understand region as a country. So there are 16 regions where they have data centers, meaning data centers in 16 different countries, and 44 data centers actually. 44 data centers are built across 16 different countries. So every single country have at least two data centers, so that you can have near DR within the country, far DR, maybe the other side of the globe. Maybe I have one server, I have a data center in Mumbai. I'm leveraging AWS services from Mumbai, and DR site is in North California or North Virginia, which is the other side of the globe, right? So as I have 16 different countries as a choice, I can build my own data. I can build my data center in the cloud anywhere that I need. And edge locations are the content delivery networks. That is to deliver the content of AWS, the content that you host in AWS data centers to the customers on a high speed, low latency, dedicated fiber optic networks. They have the edge locations globally. Well, we will do a deep dive into all these topics, but at this point of time, to understand the AWS, well, they are into the public cloud services. They deliver IT on demand over the internet to the customers. They have 78 major services in their portfolio, and they keep developing the number of products and the enhancements to it. And at this point of time, they have all sorts of customers uh, leveraging the cloud platform. That shows uh, that actually clears somebody concern about the security in the cloud. As we make progress in the learning of the cloud, AWS cloud, with me, I will help you understand what kind of compliance standards and security that Amazon data centers are uh, following, right? So that will be more detailed discussion into the security. And to talk about the certification path, well, The fundamentals of AWS is a training. There is no certification as such. Okay, this is more of a training. This is more of basic knowledge that you need to gain before you start with any other certification that you have. So there are two levels of certifications. Of course, recently there is a third level that got added. So the very first level of certification is associate. Okay, in associate, there are three different certifications: AWS Certified Solution Architect, AWS Certified System Operations Administrator, AWS Certified Developer Associate. Okay, now AWS Certified Solution Architect and AWS Certified System Operations Administrator are the certifications into the administration, whereas the Certified Developer is for the developers. For example, if you are already a Java developer, a .NET, or any PHP, Python, any of those, if you have any of those programming skills, and instead of you develop the applications on premises, if you wanted to develop the application using the cloud uh, products and the features, that's when you need to do the AWS Certified Developer. Don't think AWS Certified Developer is maybe they have a new programming language to learn. No, you are supposed to have programming skill experience. Okay, that's when you go for it. And then Certified Solution Architect is for the training for the DBAs, for the ETL engineers, that is reporting tools, maybe people from any other background, right, who are not into who uh, I mean people who are not into the system admin, server admin or system admin, anybody other than the developer and system admin, you come and learn this certification program. And those who are system admins or uh, OS admin or virtualization admin, certified sysops administrator is the right choice for you. Okay, that is associate level. So for you to take associate level certification, there is no mandatory prerequisite as such. However, it is advised that you take the fundamentals training to be strong with the fundamentals. Okay, no matter which certification you wanted to take here, it is still advised you go for fundamentals to start with. And then you've got professional level certification, that is Certified Solution Architect Professional and AWS Certified DevOps Engineer Professional. Well, for you to take professional level certification, you must have appropriate associate level certification. For example, if you wanted to take Certified Solution Architect Professional level certification, then you must already have Certified Solution Architect Associate certification done. And then in case if you wanted to have the DevOps certification, then you either have SysOps certification done or have the certified developer certification done. Either of it is mandatory. And then you've got specialty certification, which is recently got added. Specialty certification. One is into the advanced networking. The other is into big data. Right? Big data. So even to do either of these certifications, you must have one of those associate level certifications, any associate level. Okay, so these are the certifications, and surprisingly, all Amazon certifications are multiple choice. There is no lab as such. You are given with a question and the multiple choices in there. You have to make a right answer. And surprisingly, none of these blueprints talk about the number of questions that you see in the certification. Right? They will not disclose the number of questions that you see in exam. They say, to protect the exam, we will not disclose the number of questions. And surprisingly, they will not disclose the pass percentage that you need to secure. I've seen people who fail with 65 percentage. I've seen people who pass with 62. But I've never heard somebody saying fail 70 percentage. So I assume 70 is maybe a safeguarding area. You get 70, you pass. But it is not written anywhere in the official documents, remember. Okay. and all associate level certifications will cost you 150 USD. All professional level certifications will cost you 300 USD. All specialty certifications will also cost you 300 USD. And these certifications have a validity of 2 years from the day that you take the exam. After that, you have to go for renewal. When you go for renewal, you again have to give the exam, because as they are constantly developing the products and enhancing the features, they feel every 2 years you have to update your knowledge. So you have to give the exam again. And when you go for retake, or renewal of the certification, you only have to pay the 50% of the actual fees. Let's say if it is certified solution architect is 150 USD, when you go for renewal of this certification, you only pay you only pay 75 USD. All right. Same goes for the other certifications. That is, instead of 300, you only pay 150 here. Instead of 300, you only pay 150 here for the specialty. Well, that is about your certification, different certifications that Amazon has to offer, and kind of questions, or the pass percentage and the fees. Yeah, one thing that I forgot to tell you is the retake. In case, let's say you go for the first attempt in any certification and you fail, right? You need to wait for 2 weeks. You give the second attempt. When you go for the second attempt, you only have to pay 50% of the actual certification cost. Okay, and in case you fail for the second time also, you wait for 2 weeks. You give the third attempt. While you go for third attempt, you only have to pay 50% of the actual fees. Okay, and in case if you fail again, then you are not allowed to give the exam anymore. So the maximum of 3 attempts per candidate is allowed. Okay, and you fail on the third attempt also, and then you are not allowed to give the exam at all. And then maybe at this point of time, I can take you through the course content that I have for the training. Maybe Well, we'll be going through the fundamentals for system administrators. That's very fundamentals of AWS, starting with the cloud computing, introduction to AWS, part of which history, on-premises versus the cloud components, do-it-yourself versus the AWS, understanding the global infrastructure, elasticity, regions and availability zones, security, uh, here security, and the free tier on how to create an account and all that stuff. From there we get into sysops and solution architect course content, which is more into understanding the networking, understanding the security of a networking, and then talking about different ways that you connect on premises to the AWS cloud using the direct connect or VPN, VPC peering, etc. This is about the networking. And from there we will go to compute resources, that is EC2, different type of instances on how you deploy them, configure them, use them. And then storage options like block storage, snapshots of the block storage, S3 is an object level storage, how you host a static website in there. Is if you see a way that the topics are being introduced, like compute, network, storage, when we go to the appropriate topics, then I'll try to give you the very basic understanding about uh, the on-premises technology. Let's say the networking, what do you have on premises, and that is how that is simulated in the cloud. What do you have on premises for compute, and how that is simulated in the cloud. So I'll try to give you the correlated information, so that you just can try to correlate your server admin experience, or the other background of experience you have, to the cloud content that we discuss here. Then we talk about the load balancer, auto scaling. Well, you all will receive this detailed course content, but let me jump back to uh, the slide here. So just go through the detailed course outline that I've already shared, or I'm still going to send you again one more time. Go through it. But what I wanted to cover, part of my slide here is all fancy, right? I understand that the rules are made, the books are very clear, your presentation is talking about it. I understand. But with this knowledge, when I go and hit the market, right, this is different. The rules are different than the real world. Okay. Of course, today I'm taking AWS course. In the past, I took a VMware or a couple of other trainings, but the training knowledge is not sufficient for me to hit the job market, right? How do you address that? Well, these are the high level topics that I'm going to cover in training, kind of rules, let's say. And we're going to talk about interview questions. Every day I talk about a topic, I'll highlight you, hey, this is important from an interview standpoint, and interviewer may ask you a question. And I will also be highlighting the certification questions. Let's say we talk about S3, we talk about EC2, or any other surveys that we discuss in our classes. I'll be highlighting the questions. Hey, this is important and this can be asked as a certification question as well, Joe. So be aware of it. And architecture best practices. Well, if it is all about knowing EC2, okay, it is a virtual server and this is a wizard that you need to follow in order to launch an EC2 instance. That's fine, it's a book knowledge. But what are the best practices that we can apply in real time, ensure the security best practice is followed, right? That's where there are some architecture best practices documents available online, that is in the AWS portal. I'll take you through those best practices document so that you can apply that knowledge in your interview or at the job. And on the same lines, you have got reference architecture. Well, Venkat, I wanted to install Active Directory in the cloud. Can you tell me how? I wanted to install Exchange Server in the cloud. How? I wanted to install a WordPress application. How? What are the best practices and the reference architecture? I wanted to install a content or a media sharing application in the cloud. How? So there are reference architectures available in the cloud. I'll tell you how to go there and look at the reference architecture. Maybe look at 2 or 3 reference architectures, and a reference architecture from Oracle applications, SAP, maybe for big data analytics, from maybe for a web application. So see 3 4 reference architectures, understand it, and then if somebody asks you, hey, tell me about your application environment, then you will you will definitely talk about the reference architecture that you studied on the website. Okay, so that is equals to to gain the real-time knowledge. And then the real-time scenarios. Well, when you put the best practices reference architectures together and try to interact with me in the classes that we do, and make a note of the scenarios that I discuss in the classes, will help you shape the knowledge that you gain into a real-time scenario. And finally, your practice, like I said. So these 6 topics will address how you face the real time, right? It is still the early days of adaptation of the cloud computing or the AWS products. And if you sharp your knowledge, I mean, if you practice well whatever we discuss in the classes, that should be enough to hit the market and to crack a job. Okay. And finally, to talk about the highlights of my training, okay, that is one course making you ready for the job. You do not have to attend the fundamentals of AWS somewhere else. And I've seen many of many of our friends who ever attended my demos or kind of are in confusion state. Should I go for sysops or should I go for solution architect? I say this is one course wherein you are trained on fundamentals, you are trained on sysops admin, you are trained on solution architect. All 3 certification or training programs put together is a single offering. And like I've shown you the approach towards the topics and way that I've drive you today, at least you can understand how the classes are gonna be. So industry best practices that we follow and best knowledge sharing with real-time scenarios approach. Okay, this is going to be a best knowledge sharing sessions. Right? How is that? How we do that? You will experience once you join me the journey. And you all will receive, when you enroll for this training, you all will receive AWS Learning Resource Kit. That is a learning kit in which you have the student manuals, which are the technical PDF documents to read about the topics that we discuss in the classes. and you've got useful links, the subscription or important links, so that you can go to the appropriate page and you can read the useful information, and you do not have to bookmark again and again. It is one text document that is made of all the useful links. And you've got lab guides, which will help you, high level steps composed in a PDF document, which will help you practice the labs. And then you've got review questions, right? Review questions, as in every day part of the classes, I'll be asking you a few questions from the discussion in the same day, so that's kind of review of your knowledge, so that you gain knowledge and experience, isn't it? When you go through three certifications put together as a single training, uh, with industry with the industry uh, real-time approach, and the documents that I share with you, once you complete this part, you will get knowledge and experience. And then I'll be giving you 800 practice questions, kind of a dump file, right? These 800 questions are targeting sysops admin and the solution architect, right? So that you can clear your certification, you can get your certification done. Once you are done with certification, you've got sample resumes that I'll be sharing with you. So you just customize your resume as per your need, I mean, as per your profile, and you just start marketing yourself. And then course retake policy. Well, uh, I've seen in the past that some students have asked me for the recorded sessions. Well, I'll not be able to give you the recordings on a daily basis. However, I will give you the recordings of the missed classes. For example, if you miss on a given day, it will be difficult for you, I understand, to wait for the next cycle, for the next time the course starts and we reach until that point to attend the same class. That's the reason, on a given day, if you miss one or two classes, I'll give you the recorded sessions. However, recordings are not given on a daily basis. To address that concern, I will allow you to retake the course second time free of cost. Okay. And to be honest, I'm working on developing an LMS system wherein you will get access on the recordings forever, the lifetime, but that is still in the development phase. It may take a couple of months, but until then, I'm not promising you that I'm going to give you recordings. However, you have our course retake policy, right? You can come next month, you can come 3 months later, 6 months later, 1 year later. I have been doing this training business for the past 6 years on different technologies like VMware, NetApp storage, EMC storage, and you've got converged hardware platforms. And recently, I started training on Azure, AWS, and on DevOps, and on Dell Boom Cloud or Google Cloud. So different cloud platforms that I train on. So I'll not be leaving the industry and this business. So you can come anytime and you can redeem your retake policy. And like I said, right, you have got end-to-end support. When I say end-to-end support, like I have a couple of contacts in the industry. Then if you need any help other than what you are going through part of this journey, let me know, and I can map you those contacts. Like if you need any help around certification, any help around your job support, well, I can help you with that. Once you complete these, you have a demanding career in the cloud space, isn't it? Yes. And then you believe in a trainer, whatever I say, you please believe me and dedicate 2 months or 3 months, right? I've seen 2 months is good enough time, and but in your case, if you can not spend quality of time every day, maybe 3 months or 4 months, keep some realistic targets, dedicate your time, and do whatever you believe, you soft smart work or a hard work, right? Do whatever it is, and then you will have a job 100%. I can write it on book or on paper. I can give you with signed copy that you have 100% a job waiting for you in the cloud space when you do all this. Okay. Of course, like I said, I'm not a marketing guy. Okay. I'm not somebody who's just working for money, but this is my passion, teaching uh, the technology, training the technology. I keep update myself on the technology, so I want you guys to be at the same level, right? Please go ahead and ask me the questions if you have any. Any questions, guys?
The Sukesh here. So I'm into the application server administration. I and day routine I worked on JBoss, App Server, WebSphere App Server, and more DevOps tool like Jenkins and Jenkins Build and UDeploy, IBM UDFlow tools. So I start with the basic question. So why should I go with AWS? Mostly I work on Java based applications. So as you said, VMware offers the cloud. Azure, Microsoft Azure offers the clouds. So everyone, every product has their own specialty, right? So VMware, if you ask anyone, VMware is for more into the OS level administration kind of thing. If I ask Azure, it's into .NET application. So consider my background. So which cloud should I learn?
Great. Well, firstly, like you said, everybody have got their own products and their specialities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reason that you should go for AWS is because first point, they offer you 1 year of free subscription. You create a free account, they allow you to practice the services for free for 1 year. First reason. Second reason, AWS, like I said, they have been in the industry for a long time, and their product portfolio, if you see the number of services and their use cases in the real industry, and the services that are offered by the other competitors in the industry like Azure, uh, AWS makes more business case, more use cases for their products. Second reason. Third reason is AWS is such a reliable product. But, as I'm also into Azure. Azure is still kind of evolving, right? Their standards, their product reliability is not up to AWS product reliability. So if you, I mean, as you spoke about VMware also, I'm sure that you must be aware of a fact that Oracle and Microsoft sell their Hyper-V licenses, the virtualization layer licenses, for free of cost, and they only charge for the support. While VMware is charging a lot of money for their licenses too. And why do you think still people are going for VMware and not going for the free products? That's because of the features and the reliability. The same here with AWS, that their products are so stable and reliable, and they've got a rich set of features and their features and services in their portfolio, and wide adaptation, right? Microsoft announced their cloud in the year of 2008, and they have launched the cloud in the year of 2010. Okay, but AWS announced the cloud, the concept of cloud, in the year of 2002. Since then, they are developing so that the industry, the wide adaptation is into the AWS than the Microsoft. Of course, Microsoft is making the moves to accelerate their business adaptation, but it's a different story. Yeah, this can be the considerations for you to move in.
Sure. Thanks, Sumit. And I have another question.
Yep.
So, will you also offer the AWS DevOps training, or for example, I think the course outline one and what I understood. I mean, I'm very new to AWS, so what I understood, it's more like useful for the OS level administrators, the people who work on DevOps, right? So, a daily basis we deploy application and we monitor, application and all the stuff. So do we need to take DevOps course, or do we need to take the SysOps administrator?
Well, that's where I said for in order to take the professional level certification or training, you must have one of those associate level. For DevOps, you must have to have SysOps admin done.
Okay.
Reason. AWS have their own DevOps products. For example, you said Jenkins or GitHub, a couple of other tools. That is basically to ensure build automation, continuous integration, delivery, or continuous monitoring. To address the same areas, Amazon have their own products like OpsWork, CloudWatch, CloudFormation, Cloud Config, or Inspector. There are different tools around uh, the automation, around DevOps. So before you talk about automation, you please know what is EC2 and how it works.
Mm.
Right? What is VPC, how it works. So to ensure that you have that level of knowledge, they mandate you go through associate level certification, you do it, and then you go to DevOps.
Sure. That's all I have. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? All right then. Uh, Thanks a lot for joining me today. Should you have questions, just post me in the WhatsApp or shoot me a mail, call me up on my number that you have. And yeah, would like to see you in my batches. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.